We're going to begin our practice today standing at the front of the mat with the hands in prayer, the thumbs at the breastbone, bowing the head towards the hands, showing the intention of the practice to submit the workings of the mind to the authority of the heart. I'm just taking a couple of deeper breaths there than you normally would. And then gently bring the hands to the sides of the body. And you're going to ground into the feet, so feeling the soles of the feet, touching the mat, picking up the toes and putting them back down one by one, tucking the tailbone under slightly, drawing the navel to the spine and drawing the chin in so that the back of the neck is nice and long. This is your mountain pose. And then inhaling the arms up, take a little back bend. Exhale, forward fold, coming slowly down to bring the hands and the head towards the floor. Inhaling, look forward, bring the spine parallel to the floor. Exhale, release the head and hands back down to the floor. Inhale, look forward, spine comes up. Exhale, waving back down, following the breath and the movement tightly together. Inhaling, looking up, bringing the arms up, coming all the way up. Hands touch overhead, slight back bend, and exhale, hands together in front of the heart. Inhale, the arms rise over the head. Exhale, forward fold, releasing head and neck. Inhale, look forward, come up. Exhale, step the right leg back and then the left leg back to plank. Pressing through the thumbs and the first finger pads. Back of the neck is long. Exhale, coming down to a chaturanga, or bring the knees down if you prefer. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And just staying in your upward facing dog for one more breath. Nice deep breath. Open the shoulders, open the chest. Keep the back of the neck long, tuck the tailbone slightly. And then exhale, stepping back to downward facing dog. Walking your dog out here, moving the hips left and right, opening the spine. And then inhaling the left leg up and back. Exhale, step the foot between the hands at the front of the mat. Inhale the left arm up to the sky, so you're twisting towards the left knee. Gaze is up towards the fingertips or towards the ceiling, bringing the right eye to look at the ceiling. Breathing, pressing into that back ball of the foot. And then exhale, the hand comes back down. Bring the back knee down to the floor. And bring your torso up. You can rest the hands on the front knee by your sides, or you can inhale the arms above the head, starting to stretch into the psoas. And then exhaling, bringing that left knee back, stepping it back. Inhale, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. And inhale that right arm up to the sky, twisting towards the right knee. Gaze is up towards the right fingers. You can rotate the wrist here if you like. Breathing deeply, rising up high on those back left toes. Twisting gently. And then exhale, bring the hand down to the floor. Bring the left knee down to the floor. Bring the palms to the knee and bring the torso up. Again, you can bring the arms overhead or have them dangling by your sides. Just opening the psoas on the left. And then exhaling the hands back down. Step the right leg back, chaturanga on the exhale. Inhale, come up to upward facing dog. And then exhale, downward facing dog. And we'll hold for a couple of breaths here. So pressing into the thumb and first finger, especially on the hands. Knitting those front ribs together so you're not splaying open in the front of the chest. Long line of energy from the buttocks all the way to the heels, so the backs of the legs are open. You can bend the knees slightly if you need to. And the breath is deep, long, and even. allowing the navel to fall towards the spine at the bottom of the exhale. On your next inhale, raise the right leg up. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Inhale, come up to warrior one. Keeping a deep bend in the front leg. Hips are facing parallel to the front of the mat. Shoulder blades coming down the back, so shoulders away from the ears and looking up towards the hands. And then bringing the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers and adding an extra opening into the chest. So really breathe all the way up into your collarbones as you look up. And then exhale, bring the hands to frame the foot, step the right leg back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg comes up to the sky. Exhale, step the foot through between the hands. Inhale, coming up to warrior one. Deep bend in that left knee. Back leg is super straight and strong, pressing into the knife edge of the right foot, outer edge. Gazing up to the ceiling, take a nice deep inhale. And then bringing the hands behind the back, interlacing the fingers the opposite way. Opening into the chest, this again on this side. Taking the breath deeply all the way up into the collarbones, enjoying the sensation of opening. And then exhale, bring the hands down to frame the foot, step the foot back, chaturanga. You can bring the knees down if you would like here to modify. And then coming into a cobra, exhale the forehead to the floor. Bring the hands interlaced behind the back once again. And then we're going to inhale the chest and head and feet and hands up. Exhaling back down. So moving with the breath, inhaling back up, lifting as much as you can. Exhale, coming back down gently. Next inhale, come up again. See if you can lift a bit higher. And then exhale the hands to either side of the chest, pressing back through the knees into a wide-legged child's pose. So you might want to widen the knees a little bit. And releasing your head, your arms, your hands. Relaxing the hips, taking a few deep, deep breaths here. And this is a good moment to set an intention for the class. So what would you like to get out of today's class, or what would you like to dedicate it to? What is your body asking for today? What's your spirit calling for? What help do you need? What area of your life or your body needs a bit of support? So offering that prayer for your practice. And then pressing back into a downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts to the sky. Opening the hip if you like. Bending the leg. And then exhale, step the foot between the hands. Inhaling, coming up to warrior one. Full expression of the warrior one. And then straight back down, hands to the floor, chaturanga. Inhale, coming to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Open the hip, bend the leg. And then on your next exhale, stepping the foot between the hands. Inhale, coming up to warrior one. A deeper expression than the previous round, perhaps. Looking up towards the hands. And exhaling, bring the hands to frame the foot. Step the right foot back, chaturanga. Knees down if you prefer. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. And exhale to downward facing dog. Walking the feet slowly towards the hands at the top of the mat. You're going to inhale, look forward, bring the spine up, and then exhale, come into a deeper forward fold than normal. So bringing the nose towards the knees, wrapping the arms around the backs of the calves, and working with the breath to see if the exhale can bring you a little bit deeper into the forward fold. Inhale opens the spine a little bit, exhale closes you off more deeply. And then inhale, looking forward, bringing the spine parallel to the floor. Exhale, releasing the head down and coming up on an inhale through a curved spine, arms overhead, and coming back to your mountain pose. So hands in prayer, tailbone is slightly tucked, both feet are grounded to the floor, navel is coming in towards the spine, and the chin is gently tucked. Now we're going to inhale and bend the knees, coming into a chair pose. So the buttocks are dropping down towards the floor, arms are reaching up towards the sky. And with every exhale here, I want you to come a little bit lower in your chair, so sitting a little more deeply. Lower, lower with every exhale. Reaching up on the inhale and then dropping down on the exhale until you come all the way to the floor. Resting your hands on the floor, bringing your feet together to touch, and opening the knees around your shoulders so that you can fold forward with your head towards the floor. If you would like to go deeper, you can reach your arms behind you and see if you can catch them around your lower back, or just reach towards each other around the low back. Releasing that head and neck, breathing into the back body. Releasing the weight of the head into gravity. And then to come out, press the palms into the floor, lifting the buttocks up towards the ceiling, so you're in a forward fold. Inhaling, look forward, bringing the spine parallel to the floor. Exhale, releasing back down, forward fold, and bringing the palms underneath the soles of the feet. So a slightly deeper forward fold with that lovely grounding feeling of connecting with the soles of the feet. You can bend the elbows here, you can bring the nose towards the knees, enjoying that connection. Keeping the breath deep and long and allowing a bit of flexibility in the spine as you breathe. And then we're going to work the shoulders behind the backs of the knees. Bring the palms flat to the floor and start to lower the buttocks towards the floor until your upper thighs are resting on your upper arms. And see if you can lift the feet off the floor for Titipasana. You can straighten the legs if possible, not for me. And to come out, bringing the feet back to the floor and lifting the butt so you're in a forward fold once again. You can sway from side to side here to release the head and the neck and the hips. And then rounding the spine to come up, the head comes up last on an inhale. Coming back to the top of your mat, bringing your hands in prayer, finding your mountain pose once again. Connecting the soles of the feet to the earth, drawing that chin a little bit so the back of the neck is long. Feeling the breath opening the rib cage, drawing the navel to the spine, tucking the tailbone slightly. Inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, forward fold, release the head and neck. Inhale, look forward, shoulders back, spine parallel. Exhale, step the right and then the left leg back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it between the hands. Inhale, come up to warrior one. Exhale, straight back down, step the leg back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step it between the hands. Inhale, coming up to warrior one. Exhale, straight back down, hands frame the foot, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. Taking deep breaths here, letting the navel fall towards the spine at the base of the exhale, pressing into the thumb and forefinger, armpits facing one another so that the back of the shoulders opens and the backs of the legs are open, long, strong. And then walking towards the front of the mat, inhale, look forward, bring the spine parallel. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands in prayer in front of the heart. Once again, inhale, the arms rise. Exhale, forward fold, release the head and neck, enjoying every motion. Inhale, look forward, bring the spine parallel. Exhale, step the legs back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it between the hands. Inhale, come up to warrior one. Exhale, hands back down to the floor, step it back, chaturanga, knees down if you prefer. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Inhale, coming up to warrior one. Exhale, all the way back down, step it back. Knees, chest and chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Straight into another one. Inhale, the right leg up. Exhale, step the foot between the hands. Inhale, rise to warrior one. Exhale, bring it back down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step it between the hands. Inhale, warrior one, beautiful. Exhale, bring it back down, step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. And you're going to rest here, so just breathe. Open the backs of the shoulders, armpits come to face one another. So you're turning those arms in. See if you can add some length between the buttocks and the hands by pushing into those hands, pushing the floor away. And then inhale, the right leg lifts. Exhale, step it through. Inhale, coming to warrior one. Exhale, straight into warrior two, checking that your feet are in alignment so the front heel is in line with the middle of the back foot. Lots of space between your ears and your shoulders. Shoulder blades coming down the back, arms are super straight. And then exhale, bring the right hand to the floor on the inside of the right knee. Inhale, bring the left arm parallel with the ear. So you've got a long line of energy from the left fingertips to the left toes. Deep, deep bend in that right knee, Utthita Parsa Konasana, extended side angle pose. Gazes towards the palm, but the back of the neck stays long, so don't kink the back of the neck. And breathe. Exhale, bring the hands to frame the foot and the left knee down to the floor. Inhale, come up, bringing the palms to the knee and the torso upright for a psoas stretch on the left. Exhale, the hands to frame the foot. Come up into a high lunge, so the back heel is lifted. Inhale, the arms up to the sky. Exhale, the hands in prayer. Inhale, twist to the right. Exhale, bring the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. And inhale, look up over that right shoulder. Left eye to the ceiling. Don't lose the work in that left foot, so really push into the ball of the left foot. Bring the heel as high as you can. Deep bend in that right leg. Exhale, hands frame the foot. Step it back, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the left leg lifts. Exhale, step it through between the hands. Inhale, coming up to warrior one. Exhale, straight into warrior two. Get that left heel in alignment with the middle of the right foot. Press into the right edge of the right foot. Open those shoulders, bring the shoulder blades down the back. Lots of space for the neck. Come a little bit deeper in your bend of your front leg. Breathing here for warrior two. And then on your next exhale, you're going to bring the left hand to the floor, to the inside of the left foot. Inhaling the right arm up to the ceiling and the gaze to follow. And then you can bring the arm parallel with the ear. Gaze towards the palm, but no cricking the back of the neck. Deep, deep bend in that left knee. Come a bit lower if you can. Breathing here, Utthita Parsa Konasana on the other side. That back leg working super strong. Core working. And then exhale, bring the hands to the floor, bring the back knee down. Inhale, bring the palms to the front knee and bring the torso upright to stretch into that psoas. Place the hands on the floor and then inhale, come up to your high lunge, arms above the head. Exhale, the hands in prayer in front of the heart. Inhale, twist to the left. Exhale, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And then inhale that gaze up above the left elbow. Bringing the right eye to gaze at the ceiling. Giving a twist to those organs, intestines, stomach, liver. Putting pressure on them to fill them with fresh new blood, fresh new energy. And then exhale, hands frame the foot. Come down to chaturanga or knees down if you prefer. Inhale to cobra or upward facing dog. And then push back through the knees to your child's pose once again. You can widen the knees, you can rock your hips, open your palms, palms face the ceiling, and take a couple of deep breaths here, checking back in with your intention for the practice. What did you ask for? What did you think of to dedicate your practice to? Breathing deeply here, taking a moment of lovely rest. And then inhale, coming back to all fours for a few cat-cows. Inhaling, looking up towards the ceiling. Exhale, pushing into the palms, rounding the spine, tucking the tailbone. Inhaling, arching the back, tailbone towards the ceiling. Exhale, rounding, pushing through the hands to get a bit more space between the vertebrae. And a few more just in your own breath, in your own time of your own breath, matching the movement to the inhale and the exhale as best as you can. Make it feel really good. And then tuck the toes under, step it back if you need to, coming into a downward facing dog. Inhaling, the right leg lifts. Bend the right leg to open that hip. You can rotate the ankle if you like. And then straightening the leg once more, bring the hips parallel to the floor. Raise that foot a little bit higher to the ceiling. And then exhale, bringing the foot between the hands. Inhale, coming up into Utthita Parsvakonasana, but you're going to rest the elbow on the knee this time. And you're going to bind. So reaching the arms behind your back, that right arm goes underneath the right leg. Catching the arms behind you, catching the wrists behind you or the fingers to bind the pose. Looking up over that left shoulder for a strong opening in the shoulder and the chest, keeping that bend in the right leg very deep. Then you're going to walk that left foot to meet the right foot. Fix your gaze to one spot on the floor, and on the inhale, pick that right foot up off the floor for bird of paradise. Coming up as straight as you can straighten that right leg if it's available. And if you're wobbling a lot, using that drishti, that gaze, to keep your focus to one point. And then very gently, very slowly bringing the foot back down to the mat. Undo your bind and step the left foot to the back of the mat so your feet are in a warrior two alignment. Coming up on an inhale into warrior two. And then we're going to reverse the warrior. So again on an inhale, bringing the left hand down the left leg, below the knee perhaps if you can. And the right arm comes overhead, opening the chest, opening the side body, keeping a deep bend in the right leg. And then inhale back up into warrior two. Exhale there. Inhale, straighten the right leg, straighten the arms, come up. Exhale, back down into warrior two, keeping that right knee in alignment with the right big toe. Inhale, flowing back up, straightening everything out, and exhaling back down. Twice more, flowing with the breath, matching the breath to the movement. So the inhale to extend the leg, and the exhale to bend. Last one. Inhaling and exhaling. And then we're going to switch into triangle. So straightening that right leg. Inhaling, reaching the right arm forward as much as you can. And then dropping it down to your leg or the floor or a block. And looking up towards the left fingertips. Nice, straight, strong legs. Don't lock the knees. Breathing deeply here. Such a delicious pose. And then exhaling the hands to the floor on either side of the foot. Step it back. Chaturanga or knees, chest and chin. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling back to downward facing dog. And then inhaling, the left foot comes up. Exhale, step it through between the hands. The left elbow comes to the left knee, opening up the right hip, bringing the feet into Warrior Two and the torso into Utthita Parsvakonasana. Setting up for your bind, so the left arm is going to go underneath that left leg and catching the right arm behind your back, catching the wrist or the fingertips, and then looking up over that right shoulder, opening the chest, opening the shoulder, keeping a deep bend in the left knee, and working that right leg super strong, working into the outer edge of the right foot. Don't lose the intensity of the breath here, keeping it even, steady. And then you're going to walk the right foot slowly, gently to meet the left. Fix your gaze to one spot, pressing into the right foot. See if you can lift that left leg up off the floor for Bird of Paradise. Again, if you want to straighten that left leg, go for it. Getting the spine as straight as you can. Keeping the back of the neck long. Keeping your gaze fixed to one spot, keeping that focus super sharp. And then bringing the left foot back down gently to the mat. Undoing your bind, stepping your right foot out to the back of the mat for Warrior Two legs. And coming up on an inhale to Warrior Two. Exhaling there. And then inhaling, reverse your warrior. Opening that chest, bringing the head back. Don't lose that bend in the left leg. Keep it nice and deep, 90 degrees if you can. And then back to Warrior Two. We're going to flow with the breath. So inhale, straighten the left leg, raise the arms. Exhale, back to Warrior Two. Inhale, straighten the arms and the left leg. Exhale, Warrior Two. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink to Warrior Two. One more time, inhale. And exhale. And then straightening the left leg once more to set up for triangle, reaching forward with the left arm as far as you can before dropping the hand to the floor, the ankle, the foot. Looking up over those right fingertips, both arms are super straight, legs are super straight, working strong, don't lock the knees. Work that core on the exhale, breathing deeply, evenly in triangle pose. Left eye towards the ceiling. And then the hands come down to frame the foot, step it back to a chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now we can rest here for a few breaths. So remember to knit those front ribs together so you're not splaying that front chest open. Core drops towards the spine, navel drops towards the spine on the exhale. Pressing into that thumb and forefinger, opening the backs of the shoulders. And then slowly, gently walking the feet towards the front of the mat to meet the hands. Inhale, look forward, bring the spine parallel. Exhale, drop the butt down to a squat. So your knees are on the outside of your arms. You can widen your feet a little bit, pressing the palms together, feeling the breath massaging your organs. And then bring the hands to the floor, raise the butt up so you're in a forward fold. Inhale, look forward, bring the spine parallel. Exhale, forward fold once again. Inhale, arms rise, come all the way up to standing. Exhale, hands in prayer in front of the heart, back to your mountain pose. And then setting up for eagle, you're going to ground that left foot down into the floor and raise the right foot off the floor, bending that right knee. You're going to cross the right leg over the left and wrap it around. Bring the arms out parallel and then wrapping the left arm over the right and bring the palms to touch. Raise the elbows so that they're in line with the shoulders and then start to lower your hips as much as you can towards the floor. So notice that the lower you go, the more stable you will find this pose to be. And remember, also use that drishti, that point of focus, to help you balance. See if you can go all the way down so that your elbows touch your knees. And then once they do, inhale, bring yourself back up, releasing the legs, and then releasing the arms. Take a lovely big inhale, bringing the arms above the head. And exhale, bringing the hands through center. We're going to do the other side, so grounding the right foot into the floor, pick up the left leg and wrap it around. Bringing the arms out parallel, this time the right arm goes over the left. Bringing the palms to meet, aligning the elbows with the shoulders and dropping your hips, bending as much as you can in those legs. Keeping the breath strong and even. And see if you can bring the elbows to touch the knee. And once they do, bring yourself back up, upright, coming up to standing, slowly, gently releasing the legs and then the arms to follow. Taking a big inhale, raising the arms above the head. And exhale, forward fold, bringing the hands down to the floor, releasing the head, releasing the neck. You can shake it out here if it feels good. And then slowly bringing yourself to the floor. Legs are out straight in front of you for Dandasana. So walk your buttocks away from your heels so you get lots of length in the backs of the legs. Feet are flexed, toes coming towards you, towards your face. Inhale, the arms rise, and exhale, forward fold, hinging at the hips, trying to keep the back straight at first. And then once you come as far forward as you can, releasing that head towards the legs, releasing the hands, releasing all the effort of the upper body, whilst keeping those legs active so the feet remain flexed. Your upper body is surrendering, legs still working. Keeping the breath going, even, steady breaths. Very calming pose. And then inhaling to bring yourself back up to seated. You're going to bend your left leg and bring the heel almost touching the left buttock. Inhale the left arm up above the head. Exhale, reach it forward and around the left knee and binding once more. Binding and dropping the head towards the floor. Keep that right foot active. Keep those toes coming towards the face. Marichyasana A. And again, feeling the massage of the organs in this pose as you breathe. So with your thighs pressing against your intestines, your stomach, your spleen is on the left. Helping them to detox, bringing fresh new blood into that area. And then on an exhale, release the bind. You're going to bring your left foot to the outside of the right knee. You can keep the right leg straight or bend it in, whichever we prefer. Bring the left hand to the floor behind you. Inhale the right arm up and exhale, bring the right elbow to the outside of the left knee. And looking over your left shoulder, You're going to very gently twist, but work with your breath to go deeper. So instead of forcing it, you're going to inhale to straighten the spine. And then on your exhale from the navel, twisting a little more, looking a little more over that left shoulder. So inhaling again straightens the spine. Exhale from the navel, twist a little bit more. And then inhale to come out and stack the knees on top of each other. So the left knee is stacked on top of the right for head of cow pose. Both buttocks should be on the floor. You can stay seated like this, or you can raise the right arm up and bring the left arm below and do a bind at the backs of the shoulder. This gives you a lovely stretch in the tricep and also intensifies that hip stretch. You can stay here, or if you want to go deeper, you can bring the nose to the knees, keeping that bind. Keeping that extra opening in the chest. Keep the back of the neck long, keep your breath steady and deep. And then inhaling to come up, releasing the bind, and rolling back onto the buttocks, bringing your legs out straight in front of you, flexing the feet once again. And you're going to bend the right leg this time, bringing the heel towards the buttocks. Inhaling, reach the right arm forward. Exhale, wrap it around the right leg and bind it with the left. So those fingers interlaced if possible, or you can grab the wrist. And then falling forward, letting your head fall towards your knee, completely relaxing your head and neck. Feeling with every breath the massage of your organs, this time on the right side, so it's your liver now, and your ascending colon, and your stomach again. Breathing deeply as you can in this awkward position. And then releasing the bind. Bring the right heel to the outside of the left knee. You can keep the left leg straight out in front of you or bend it. You're going to bring the right hand to the floor behind you. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Looking over the right shoulder. You're going to inhale to straighten your spine and then exhale, twisting a little bit more from the navel. See if you can bring that gaze a little more over that right shoulder. So working with the breath, inhaling, straighten the spine. Exhaling, twisting a little bit more if you can, never forcing. Keeping that breath as deep as possible, even though it's a bit more constricted in this posture. This is Lord of the Fish. And then very gently coming out, bringing the torso forward, stacking that right knee on top of the left, making sure the buttocks are equally grounded for head of cow. So you can stay here, leaving the arms resting by your sides, or you can take the bind. So in this case, the left arm goes up, the right arm goes under, you catch the arms behind the back. You can use a belt if your hands don't meet, but you want to do this tricep stretch, you can use a belt to cover the rest of the distance. Keeping the back of the neck long, and then bringing the nose to the knee if it feels good. Trying to breathe into any tension, tight spaces, discomfort, staying with the sensation as much as you can. Staying with your breath as much as you can. And then inhaling to come up, gently releasing the bind. You're going to come forward, rolling forward onto the knees to bring yourself out. And then from a kneeling position, just drop your buttocks over to the right side and look over the right shoulder. It's a very gentle counter. Little twist. And then come back to kneeling on the heels and drop the buttocks to the left side, this time looking over the left shoulder. Breathing into that gentle twist. And then coming down to lie on your back with your knees bent, feet pressing into the floor, pushing into the heels, Lift your sacrum off the floor on an inhale. As you're coming up into a bridge pose, you can interlace the fingers on the floor, pushing into those hip bones, squeezing the glutes, trying to get those hip bones as high as you possibly can, pressing into those heels, pressing into the balls of the foot, breathing, breathing, breathing. And then on an exhale, releasing the buttocks back down to the floor, pushing the sacrum into the ground, feeling the sacrum flat against the floor, keeping the back of the neck long, so make sure your chin is tucked in just a little bit. And then we're going to repeat that, so pressing into the heels, raising the buttocks off the floor, interlacing the fingers on the floor beneath you, pushing those hip points up into the ceiling as much as you can. And then from here, if you would like to, you can go into your Urdhva Dhanurasana, so hands to the either sides of the ears, pressing into the palms, coming up into your wheel, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Keeping the shoulders open, making sure those knees are pushing towards each other, not splaying outwards to protect your low back. Couple of breaths in this pose, and then coming back down, bringing the knees towards each other, taking a few deep breaths into the belly, and then straightening the legs up, so you're at a 90-degree angle, legs and torso. Flex the feet so your toes point towards your face, and you're just going to try to see if you can get a tremor in the legs. So pressing those legs as straight as you can, pressing into the backs of the knees just with your intention and your effort. See if you can feel those muscles shaking at all. And if you can, amazing, just stay with that sensation. See if you can keep it as long as possible. If you can't, just work towards getting those legs as straight as possible, keeping that sacrum flat on the ground. If you can get a little shake, a little tremor here, that's amazing, releasing deep stress from the muscles. And you can either continue with that if it feels good, or you can come up for another wheel. So in that case, you push up into a bridge first, and then bring the palms to either sides of the ears, bringing yourself up into the full expression, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Remembering not to let those knees fall outwards. Opening that chest, opening the shoulders, breathing into the armpits. And then coming back down to the floor, letting those knees flop in towards each other, taking a few resting breaths. And then bring yourself back up to sit. We're going to do hero's pose. So you want to bend your legs and have your heels on the outside of your buttocks. So you're kneeling, but your buttocks are dropping towards the floor. So it's a bit more of a stretch in the quads. And once you've got that comfortably set up, you can lean back onto your elbows. Bring your elbows onto the floor, lean back onto your elbows, and look up towards the ceiling. If that's enough, stay there. Or from there, you can gently lower yourself all the way down to lie back on the floor. You can grab your heels, or you can bring the arms overhead. And then as you rest in this pose, thinking more about the yin quality, so the releasing, the surrender. You're not doing anything here. You're just enjoying the sensation, allowing it to nourish you simply by doing nothing, just by allowing. Keeping your breath deep, enjoying the breath, enjoying the fullness of an inhale and the fullness of an exhale. Observing your body in this pose. And then to bring yourself back out, bring your elbows to the floor and raise yourself up just on the elbows. So you're coming out in stages. and then pushing yourself fully upwards to sit, coming forward onto the knees. You're going to roll your mat here to give yourself a nice cushion to kneel on. And for a camel pose, you can have your toes tucked underneath or your tops of your feet flat on the mat. Bring your hands into prayer and start to lean back, pushing your hip bones forward. And if it feels good, you can grab for the ankles, or the heels. The gaze can be on the ceiling, or if it feels comfortable, you can release the neck, go into the full back bend, keeping the chest nice and open, keeping the breath deep, only going as far as feels good. You can also look forward in this pose. It's a bit less of an intense back bend that way. Keep those hip points pushing forward. Camel pose. You can also bring one arm back at a time if you want to work your flexibility. So keeping the left hand in prayer, you can bring the right hand to the heel. And then switching sides, keeping the right hand in prayer, you can bring the left hand to the left heel. And then using those stomach muscles to raise yourself back up and coming to a kneeling pose just for a resting breath with your hands in prayer. We're going to come back to a child's pose. So you can have it wide-legged or wide knees or knees parallel, whichever feels the best. And you're going to focus in this child's pose on breathing into the low back, breathing into the sacrum, feeling that breath nourishing between the vertebrae. You could walk your fingertips forward to get an extra bit of space under the armpits or the back of the shoulders. Deep, long, even, nourishing breaths. Full exhales. And then inhaling up to all fours to come out of the posture. We're going to do another yin pose here, so we need to set up the mat for our knees. So both short edges of the mat you're going to roll this time, preferably twice, so that you have a really good amount of padding. And it's going to be frog pose, so it's a wide-kneed pose, a really deep hip opener. So just make sure that you've given yourself enough space. You want each piece of padding to fit on your knees comfortably. And if you get into the pose and you think, actually, I could go a bit wider, just take the time to fix the mat so that you can be comfortable and relaxed, because we're going to stay here for a little bit of time. So the most important thing here is the alignment. You want your knees in alignment with your heels, and then you want the inner edges of the feet flat on the floor for this pose. And then you'll notice if you come forward, bringing more weight into your elbows, it becomes less intense. So I want you to push back into the hips to a point where you can take it, but it's kind of just at the edge. So find a level of intensity that you can just about manage. No pain, obviously, but just intensity. And then start to breathe into that. Breathe into that tension. It's really easy in this pose because it's so intense to resist. So one of the things to scan for in your body is any resistance. Are you holding a muscle in your shoulder, or maybe in your leg or in your foot? Are you trying to pull back from the pose? And if so, just release that place, release that muscle, and see if you can surrender into the posture, keeping your breath really deep, really long, really even, staying with the sensation, and imagining that your breath is slowly working away at that tension. So every time you inhale, you're collecting some of that tension, and every time you exhale, it's washing it away. Staying as present as you can. And then the way to come out of this pose is to walk yourself forward. So walk your elbows forward slowly and gently until your legs are straight. Don't rush. Don't rush to come out because it's such a deep stretch. And so your legs come out straight behind you, and then you can walk the heels together, and then come back to sitting, undoing your mat. Lie back and coming into happy baby. So your arms go to the insides of your knees and your hands to the outer edges of the feet, bending the knees, rocking from side to side, massaging the sacrum, massaging the spine, giving the hips a nice little shake, just soothing whatever part of your low body needs soothing after that intense frog stretch. And then if you would like to, on the way to corpse pose, you can kind of do a hip opening half corpse. So bringing the soles of the feet together, letting the knees fall open, bringing the palms to face the ceiling and relaxing there if you would like that extra hip opening. And then when you're ready, you can straighten the legs and come into the full corpse pose, releasing all of your intention and all of your efforts. So just doing a quick scan of each leg, each arm, the hands and feet. Make sure you're not holding any muscles, gripping. Make sure you're not holding any tension in your jaw or your face. Letting your eyes rest in their sockets. Releasing the back of the neck. Releasing the backs of the shoulders. When you're ready to come out, taking a couple of extra deep breaths into the belly, wiggling the fingers and the toes, bending the legs into the chest and rolling over onto your side, resting there for a moment, and then using your hands to help yourself rise up to a seated position, crossing your legs, keep your eyes closed. Bring your hands in prayer, the thumbs at the breastbone. Bow your head to your hands, thanking yourself for coming to your mat today, thanking yourself for your practice.